All right. And we should be live. So try to get y'all to filter in here a little bit. Apologies for the delay too. I had to charge up my camera a little bit, so hopefully it's good to go. Dealing with this dog in the back. New doggo, adopted her about 3 days ago, so got my hands full with that too. What's going on, everybody? Just letting a couple people pile in here before we kick this baby off. How's everybody feeling though? First things first, how y'all feeling? Ugly, 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 but curious to hear y'all's takeaways, everybody's thoughts on, the offense still seemingly can't figure out how to take care of the ball. I thought about it after the game, and it felt like we had more than 2 turnovers for some reason. I know we lost the ball, like fumbled the ball a few more times, but really felt like we had more than 2 turnovers for sure. So, all right, well, we got a few people in here. Again, y'all can get your comments in here and just kind of give me your thoughts on the game and stuff like that. Because I'm really, really curious to hear the pulse of Husker Nation. It was a lot of up and downs on Twitter that I saw, some emotional lows, some emotional highs. We're going to try to go through it all here today. So, for those that don't know, my name is Justin Adams. I am the post-game host here at the Voice of College Football. I also am over on Cheesy Corn Sports on YouTube. Cheesy Corn Sports is a channel that me and my friend Martin Cheney run, where we go over fantasy football stuff 2 hours before the games. On Sunday, we're live, helping you answer lineup questions and stuff like that. We do viewer call-ins. We just kind of hang out and talk football. So if that's kind of your thing, you can find me there or on X at the H-Town Husker. Not very exciting over there for me, but Hong Wei, what's up, man? Yep. Another ugly game, but a win. Yeah, so the thing about it, Northwestern, we're kind of a little bit lucky that they shot themselves in the foot about as much as we did. There's more so with the penalties, of course. And holy cow, that offensive line at Northwestern. I mean, we knew that was a weakness coming in, but 8 sacks, 13 TFLs. And honestly, we could have had a lot more TFLs. There was a few that they were able to break away and sneak some yards out of, but all in all, that is a really, really impressive stat. All right, so let's go ahead and start from the top here. We'll start with the offense. Harburg, little bit of my thoughts on watching Harburg lately. It almost seems like Harburg he's indecisive at times. I feel like he's, again, in the first couple of weeks, I felt like he was just playing the game, letting the game come to him. And over the last couple of weeks, it seemed more so like he's just thinking a little too much. And Rule kind of said it in the post game press conference. He mentioned playing with some fear by the team, and that makes sense. Maybe why that speech, if we die, we die. That type of deal was kind of his motivator, because there's times where Harburg, he sees a hole and he hits it, and he hits the Jets. But there were also times, there was a zone read once. There was, another play that was stretched out on the sideline where he just kind of like hunches down and almost just kind of stutter steps in place, and doesn't really try to, he doesn't really use his frame and his strength to really try to push for some yards. Whereas more so if he would just kind of attack immediately, I feel like with his size, I feel like he's always going to be able to get some yards. Now, there could be, a reason for that. Maybe running Harburg as much as he is taking a toll on his body. Could be, but the throws, he's just thinking on the throws. You know what makes me believe that he's thinking more than, just letting his mechanics and stuff come to him on the throws is the throws that he's not expected to make. I feel like he makes, he threw 2 interceptions, and then he had this really good throw running to his left, throwing across his body and hit him perfectly on the sideline for the first down. It's like those throws, I feel like he's just doing, right? I don't think he's thinking about like, "Oh, I need to make this throw. He's wide open." But I feel like there's just something when there's a guy open or he sees a window, it's almost like a hesitation or some kind of like Rule said a fear. So it's almost like he thinks and then, once you start thinking as a quarterback, that's when the issues arise. You want to just play with instinct, especially a player like Harburg. Harburg isn't the type of guy that's going to kill you with his skills, of course, but he's a football player to his core, and he makes plays. He truly wants to win the game. He's physical. He's everything that embodies like a football player. Um, and so, you know, with that being said, he really needs to just react because that's what his strength is. His strength is just in reacting and making the play that's available. With this offense right now, I do feel like we're trying to throw a little too much. Like I understand balance, but it's not working. And even if we're talking balance, we're still throwing too much, in my opinion. Just want a serviceable QB and I have anyone throw the damn ball. Yeah, it's you would like to have somebody available. It's over 60% kind of completion percentage. That is really not going to help our run game coming into the Big Ten play. I think Northwestern, teams like Northwestern and Illinois, like we can get away without having a pass game. But maybe some of these other teams we can't as much because their defense is going to key in on our run game. One thing too, in the post game press conference, Matt Rule said that much of the game plan was centered around Billy Kemp, and you know that's to me that's another concerning thing because if we just game plan around one player, it's and especially Billy Kemp, like Billy Kemp's still true freshman. He's a small dude, like Wandale Robinson. We saw Wandale Robinson just constantly get banged up, because of his usage. Sorry, but that it's just I feel like this offense needs a little bit more complexity, and right now we're just so limited, but we're still trying to pass. We know our strength right now. Right now, the name of the game is winning. Right now, this team is banged up to no end. The name of the game right now is just trying to win, and we got to do whatever that takes. It doesn't matter what it looks like. We just got to get it done. So hopefully they stop trying to, and then the offense seems very vanilla, and still, it's just it can't. There's no momentum. There's no moment where the offense kind of hits a groove. Against Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech, that happened late second quarter into the second half, but here lately against the Big Ten teams, it's not happening. So, just want a QB1, get a 10-yard pass. Yeah, absolutely. And kind of like I was saying a little bit ago, it just seems like the offbeat throws where he's scrambling and running and has to make a tough throw, and he's letting the ball go, not thinking too much about it, not clutching the ball too much, thinking about I need this completion, I have to have it. On those, I think he's just not putting pressure on himself, and when he does that, he can play well. But the deep ball throw, that was a good one because we haven't seen him really connect on a deep ball. I like that play call too. I don't know why we haven't done more of that, where we just kind of try to get that run game going, get heavy, and then bring everybody in, get their defense down, and then try to bring something over the top. It seems like we're always showing our hand when we're passing. We're out of shotgun, which again, shotgun not working at all. I don't know why we continue to do that. I don't know why, again, another thing, Harburg just dropping that ball. A lot of thinking going on right now. Defense responding, reacting. Even when the defense got beat over the top, Hartzog, he came back and made that tackle and then made the third down stop that led to them having to kick a field goal. So, the defense really kind of doesn't, they just move on to the next play. If they make a mistake, it's a reset. They're very good at resetting mentally. I don't think our defense is thinking. I think our defense is reacting, and that's the difference right now, you know? Satterfield also, I don't know how to feel about Satterfield. You know, I know he's still fresh, but man, Fedoni, drops, looking over the stats, every receiver had one catch, and except for Fedoni, he had 3, but it seemed like he just had so many drops today. Which, in those couple games where he was going for a few touchdowns, it seemed like, okay, this is gonna be our guy. This has got to be the guy, the big guy, big target in our offense. And no consistency with the hands. Even the guys that we think we're going to get consistency from, we're not. One thing I did want to, Minnesota beat Iowa. Oh yeah, dude, you love to see that, baby. What was that final? All right, 12-10. Yikes. Sheesh, man. I thought ours was low scoring. My God. Well, that's good. But again, I'm just happy with the win. I know because right now it looks like these turnovers and stuff like that aren't going to be fixed during the season. It looks like this is going to be a long, arduous process of trying to really figure out how to get these whatever this is out of these guys. Because of course, I mean, we just came off a bye week and immediately came out the gates with 2 turnovers. Something is not clicking with these guys, and I don't know if it's Satterfield. It very well could be the coaching. I feel like Tony White's got those guys just flying around, man, and the offense is just so hesitant. Emmett Johnson, man, what a game from him! Like he was very decisive. I think Emmett Johnson's playing loose. He's like, yo, I'm a oh my God, true freshman. Dude, I have ADHD. Sorry. I don't know why I blank on words all the time, but redshirt freshman, and look at how he's playing. I just think he's playing loose because he's young. He was thrust into this role, and he's doing a damn good job with it. Josh Fleeks didn't get a lot of touches today, so hard to judge his stat line. But Emmett Johnson getting more carries than everybody outside of Heinrich Harburg and averaging 6.1 yards a carry, there had to have been something they saw in Emmett Johnson that has put him above Grant. Of course the turnovers, I'm sure, but outside of that, coming off the bye week, just him getting more touches, I feel like that happens every week. We expect somebody to get the most touches, and it never kind of works out that way. I don't want to forget to give Tristan Alvano, his due for that field goal. That thing would have been good from about 60 into the wind, right into the All-State hands. He should get extra points for that, honestly. It should be an extra point if you hit the All-State hands. But yeah, that is a huge kick for his confidence. You even saw his reaction after, like how pumped up he was. Like, I think that was such a relief for him to see one, long field goal go through. So I think that's going to be very good for Alvano's confidence going forward. I think we're going to see a different Tristan Alvano moving forward. I think it's going to be, I think he's going to start being what we thought he could be, a little bit more consistent. If he can get good holds, of course. He did start to get in a rhythm, but that bad hold made him miss that one 2 weeks ago. So yeah, baseball score, really, honestly. Yeah, honest. Like, dude, coming into the season, I was Emmett Johnson was the one I was most excited about. I watched his film and I just loved the way he ran the ball. It was decisive. Like I said, he reminded me of the way, I'm a Texans fan. So the way that Texans used to run with Arian Foster and Matt Schaub, it was almost like he would I'm sorry, I just read a comment, got distracted. But they would do a zone read or some kind of zone run scheme, and they would just roll it left, and he would just, he would hit the hole immediately. He would find the hole and he would hit the hole. It's very, very decisive. And he seemed to always get yards. So I think Emmett Johnson's for real. I think he's going to be a really good guy for us going forward. I was super excited about him coming to the season. And again, I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what Josh Fleeks can do. the offense right now is so limited. These guys aren't getting really the best opportunities to show what they got. Um, I wonder if they've given any shot, like any thought to Chubba Purdy. I don't know y'all's thoughts on Chubba Purdy, but I feel like Chubba might have, he got a lot of flack for being thrust into the starting role in a really, really tough situation. So I still don't think Purdy is, as bad as people think he is. So at this point, why not give it a shot? I really thought after those 2 interceptions that Sims might come in. I don't know. I know Rule has really loves Sims, so I that's another thing I'm wondering is like how much of a leash does Harburg have before that kind of flips? Halfback is 1 and 20. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just feel like our running backs are not getting involved near as much as they need to. Um, you know, the thing is, the reason why, it's like I don't really blame our pass game too much, right? Um, Hear me out on this. The the pass game is what it is because, we've had a ton of injuries. And production, like I'm talking like injuries of guys that we need, not just, it seems like every injury is an important guy. And I just, and again, coming into the season, no more Trey Palmer, that was half our offense last year. So part of me still has that kind of in mind going through this because I feel like if we would have heard these injuries coming into the season, we would have had a much different perspective on how the season was going to go. Some of us were, some of us were barely predicting 6 wins for this season. If you would have told us before the season that those guys are going to be out, I think everybody would have been doomsday, you know, 2 wins, 3 wins. So, but yeah, it's not going to get fixed right now. So we just got to keep pushing forward and winning, no matter what it takes. Defense could arguably top 20. Oh, I think it is actually. I think it is top 20. But the black shirts, crazy. They're just, and we'll get more into them in a little bit. Getting held at halftime. Yeah, yeah, getting held half the time, almost every 5 yard now. Yeah, and there was that obvious one, where we blitzed right up the middle. It was that long pass. We blitzed right up the middle, and he was literally, like, grabbing his shirt while our, guy was running this direction, to the quarterback, and he had a hand on him. The dude, like, it was the most obvious holding there is. I know they miss him, like, basically every play, but Jesus, good lord. Yeah, and it seemed, some of the plays that they were making at the sticks were very simple concepts. They had one up at the top where, we flushed him out right, and it looked like we had good coverage, but all he did, he just ran a little dig route, and, he just sat down in the soft spot and just, made a, just a clean reception, just got down immediately, didn't try to do too much. That's kinda when their pass game got into a little bit of a rhythm when they just started kind of that little short route, just trying to, we play a lot of man coverage, so they realized that if they could just run a quick in, quick out or something that they would be able to get yards, and I'm not sure what happened on that left side. I wanna watch that one that got burned deep. I don't know if they ran kind of like a short stick and nod or like a little hitch and go. I don't know what happened over there, but again, credit to Hartzog for making up for that. That halfback threw the ball over or behind him. Yeah, yeah. Agree Justin Windsor, no one matters. Got to take the obvious. Yeah, exactly. At the beginning of the season, we were just kind of like, let's wait, and they'll get it going. They'll figure it out. But it seems like right now, as far as we are into the season, it might just be, hammered up, prepare for the game, and let's hope it lands our way. Defense playing at such a high level, man. They're gonna win us a lot of games. They already have, but they're gonna keep us in a lot of games. They're gonna win us a lot of games. But our offense does. Before we get into the thick of Big Ten play, our offense does have to start giving them some help, man. Keep them off the field for a little bit. Let them rest. Just not sustaining drives. We can't win the time of possession, like, clearly, it's always even or too close, but, yeah, right side, our young guys are getting experience. Exactly. This is one of the key things, that's important is these guys are getting very, very valuable experience, and again, coming into the season, we weren't expecting, championship, Big Ten West championship, or anything like that, but we're sitting here looking at, uh, a path to our own destiny right now, and the teams in front of us, I don't know y'all's thoughts on it, but the teams in front of us are looking a lot weaker. The way, Iowa, for as maligned as our offense is, Iowa's might be worse right now. It doesn't seem like any Big Ten West team has an offense, to be honest. Well, outside of a couple, but Wisconsin just inconsistent, Iowa inconsistent, us inconsistent. Northwestern, you know, they are playing above what they thought they would, but they don't have the talent for it. Yeah, I was kind of like, a little bit into it. Like I said, a couple turnovers into it, I was wondering if he was gonna pull. I don't know what kind of leash he has, to be honest. And, even remember that one play where when Sims was a starter, I think it was week, 2? It might have been I don't remember I think it was week 2, where they actually threw a pass out to Harburg. So, yeah, maybe we could use Sims out there in some different ways and run 2 QB sets and try to just get a little creative, because us trying to be vanilla and just, find the rhythms not working. We gotta do something different, and if the vanilla isn't working, we're not gonna be able to, like, make more mistakes than we are, I feel like, if we just try to risk it, you know, but we're not doing it at the right moments. It's like we're just going, like, one drive will come out and we'll try to run, you know, run the ball away, and then we'll come out the next drive and we'll pass on 1st and 2nd down. And it's like, even our 3rd and shorts when we're in shotgun, like, I don't understand it. That one towards the end, it was like 3rd and 6, and we ran just the QB draw, but it's like Harburg even, like, he took, like, a full step back before he even started to attack, and they were already in the backfield, and it was just stood no chance. It's not like the simple plays like that aren't even working. So, I don't know at what point we just throw caution to the wind and understand that, like, we're gonna have to start making some plays offensively. Illinois blew it to Wisconsin. That's unfortunate. Not fun. Iowa lost, though. Husker volleyball tonight too. That's coming up. Yeah, so what's everybody's thoughts? I mean, how are y'all feeling? I'm curious to know how everybody's feeling. Give me a couple words about how y'all feeling about this team moving forward, and are you, you know, positive or negative on the rest of the year, or to this point, just everything that's been said here and stuff like that, just all those things in mind. Like, how are y'all feeling? Because again, like, during the games, I'm heads in my hand, stuff like that. But we think back to the last few years, we weren't winning games like this. Our defense wasn't able to win us games. It's like it seemed like every time our offense would do something last year, our defense would give it up. So I feel like turnovers are the most correctable thing. Um, but we're improving in other places. We really didn't kill ourselves too much with penalties today. Offensive line didn't. Our offensive line seems to be playing a little better at moments, but again, no health there. Just getting banged up. But overall, like the steps the defense has made forward, I think we would have been okay with that coming into the season. I think it would have been okay knowing we have a top 25, top 20 defense. So I'm just curious if anybody's thoughts or opinions are, a little bit better than they were at the beginning of the season. Or if it's just kind of like, I do understand that part of it where there's this turnover thing has to stop because, the last time Nebraska had a winning record was 2016 when we also won the turnover margin. That's also the last time we won the turnover margin. It directly, I mean, it's the most fixable thing, but it's also the thing that directly leads to losses the most. So it's a double-edged sword. It's one of those things that you can't just sit here and take time to get it right. You got to get it right because it's directly losing you, winning you games. This defense is playing out of its mind right now just to keep us in one possession wins. You would love to take some of the pressure off them. Again, I just think Satterfield is just not. He's playing it very safe and still not getting it right. Sorry, but I felt better when Wisconsin was losing to Illinois. Yeah, that's true. Though if they would have dropped both of those, that would have been great. But Illinois hanging in there with Wisconsin is but the thing about Wisconsin is I feel like they're going to play I don't know why I always feel like they're going to play their best game against us, and Braylon Allen is going to do what he did when he was, that game we had to hear about. He was 17 the whole game while he diced us up for 230 yards or whatever it was. Yeah, not ready to face Braylon Allen. But again, our run defense is much better. That was terrible that year. Nate Gary had like 37 tackles because he kept breaking into the secondary. All right, offense pathetic, defense is great. Bowl game is definitely achievable. Yeah, exactly. We could get away with it. I think Northwestern, Louisiana Tech, Northern Illinois, Illinois and Northwestern shot themselves in the foot about as much as we did. Who knows? If they don't make those mistakes, maybe we're talking about a different game, So you're right. We can't always rely on the other team to make mistakes because that's the most unpredictable part of this. Apparently, except with us, it's very predictable to us. But the most unpredictable part of the game is turnovers. So if we can't sit there going into this thinking like, oh, we've won these, we can continue to get away with this. No, we can't. We're relying on their mistakes just as much as they are ours. So the offense needs to go out there and be able to win a semi-clean game. That for us to compete against or to beat like Wisconsin's and Iowa's, I still think that we're going to have to go out there and play a clean game because those aren't typically teams that beat themselves. Iowa is, a very good team at just kind of sticking to what they do, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. Wisconsin very much the same, but that's one of the things that I feel is going to really, really be the difference in those games is can we try to figure something out before then? That to me is going to be the difference on how we feel about coming out of this season. Yeah, and I very much do think a bowl game is 100% on the table, and I'm actually feeling pretty good about our shot at making a bowl game. But it's hard to be, extremely confident just seeing no improvement. Like I didn't think I could really see an uglier game than the Illinois game, but that felt uglier. And again, we only had 2 turnovers, but if I don't know why it felt like we had 5 or 6. It just felt like we had way more turnovers than we did. Like it was that sloppy, and really hope Billy Kemp's okay. I don't know if I've gave Malachi Coleman his due, but Malachi Coleman is going to be, hallelujah. We had a deep threat. We have a deep threat. Trey Palmer, that's the reason he accounted for 1,000 of Casey Thompson's 2,000 passing yards last year. It's just because he could blow the top off. We're missing that this year so bad. Like there's just so many bodies in traffic where Harburg's trying to throw, and Harburg's arm angle, like the dude's 6'5", but he can't get it over the dang line. It's like that stat last year. I was breaking down the rookie QBs coming into the season, and Bryce Young actually had less tipped balls than oh my god, old boy from Kentucky, 6'4". I'm drawing a blank on his name, man. ADHD is horrible, y'all. I just got distracted by something. I think we're kind of equal to Wisconsin if Iowa. We could just make less mistakes. Yeah, I think Iowa's offense might actually be worse than ours, though. That they're terrible. We are too, but I actually think like we have some promise, and we have some young guys that can get that. Here's where I'm feeling about it going into the end of the year. Like we talked about earlier with these guys, these young guys getting experience. Well, that's going to be valuable this season too. It's not just going to carry over to next year. So if we can continue to get these guys reps and solid reps, Emmett Johnson, these guys, those guys are going to be able to develop by the time we play those games a little bit more and get a little bit better, get them a little bit more comfortable in the offense. And we're going to need those guys to play well. So, I think our offense does have room for improvement based on that alone, because we're just playing so many young guys and stuff like that. I think our quarterback play is what it is. Receiver room is what it is. It's gnarly right now. It is banged up to all hell. But it's, we got to rely on the guys who are doing the right thing. Anthony Grant, he was, or Jeff Sims, I'm sorry. Or no, it was Anthony Grant that was put in the doghouse for the fumble earlier in the season. And we need to be very much the same way with these young guys, is just the guys who are playing the hardest and playing the most disciplined and playing the best, put them out there. Like, throw depth charts out the window. Let's go with on offense. Who's playing the best in that moment? Let's just rock with that. That's what we got to start doing. But I want to see a lot more Emmett Johnson and just a little bit more involvement in Josh Fleeks and some creativity in the offense whatsoever. Justin watches style football, and I'll take it down when I get my hopes up there too many times. Yeah, exactly. I was telling somebody on Twitter earlier was just like, I don't even know how I'm still live watching these games. I'm a Texans fan, a Rockets fan, an Astros fan, and Nebraska. And I think the only reason I'm alive right now is the Astros at this point, but yeah, it is humbling. I used to, like, as a kid, I used to just like get infuriated when Nebraska would lose. And there went a point where I was just numb to it. And now I'm kind of back to, like, I have my expectations, somewhere, and now I'm back to getting sad again. But I got my dogs, dude. They help me out. They're kind of here for me no matter what. No, I just adopted her, though. She's German Shepherd Husky. I can't get out of the dang way. I don't know how to do this. But I adopted her a few days ago. So I got my hands full with her. She's keeping me occupado. But all right. Let's see if we got any more thoughts in here on that. Nope. All right. So, well, let's talk a little bit about our upcoming schedule and how we're feeling about it. I really want to get into this and see, what we're looking at moving forward and where we think we could comfortably land. Purdue, right? Purdue, let's look at their games, because Purdue got their, what's pushed in the same day we played Michigan to Illinois. So, very, very winnable game. Michigan State is not good. So winnable game there. Maryland's going to be a tough one. I do think Maryland is dynamic enough to where they might be able to cause us some issues. And unless our offense has something figured out, I don't know if we win that one. At Wisconsin and at Iowa. So yeah, the fact that those are at the end of the season, really, really happy about that. But we can get some momentum here with Purdue, Michigan State, roll into that Maryland game. And I think that Maryland game is going to be very, I don't think that's not out of the reach, of course, but there's a distinct possibility that we could roll into Wisconsin on a 3-game win streak, so that has to, and again, we have to take into account that these young guys, these running backs, they are going to get better as the season goes along. So offense will get better as we go. Exactly. That's why I have such a hard time evaluating this offense right now, because we're seeing it in such a different way than it was drawn up at the beginning of the season, that it's hard to know how much of this is just lack of, coaching or, execution, and how much of it is just like we are decimated and just trying to scratch and claw and fight our way to keep, a roster on the field. So yeah, it's just like, it's one of those things, really hard to judge the offense right now and really judge it going into the next season. But I think that's going to be a big tell, is how they use these guys and develop them moving forward. It should get better as we go, but I do want to see, some consistency somewhere and start to see one of these guys separate themselves. This is going to be our go-to back, and we're going to use them in these sets and stuff like that. And, I just want to see us rock with the guys who have the hot hand and who are winning us at that given moment. So, one thing here, guys. So a sponsor here at the Voice of College Football, Ticket Smarter. So use code BIG for a $10 off a purchase of $100, or promo code BIG20, $20 off a purchase of at least $300 on ticketsmarter.com. I have not I have not used them in recent memory, but I will try it out, and so I can give y'all a accurate representation of how Ticket Smarter is. So, um, all right, let's get into. I did want to go over the defensive stats here, dude. Also, I don't know why they didn't run Anthony Titus more. He was averaging 10 and a half yards per carry and 6 carries for 63 yards. I don't know how their quarterback turned into Tom Brady there for a little bit. That was interesting. I would probably think it was just a little bit of our defense getting tired. But all right, defensive numbers here. So Gifford with 7 total tackles, 1 TFL. What about Prince Will? I'm not going to attempt to say his last name. Well, I don't know why I said I'm not going to do it. Then I tried it. Six total tackles, 3 solos. What a game by Prince Will there. 1.5 TFLs. Reimer, big time. 1 sack, 1 TFL, 6 total tackles, 1 solo. Hartzog again, made the one mistake, but really came up and made up for it by making that stop on. Running him down and then making that stop on that 3rd down to keep them out of the end zone on that same drive. Nash Hutmacher, of course, been one consistent. And Phelan Sanford's play has been excellent. Like Phelan Sanford has filled in so nicely. These defensive backs, man, our defensive backfield is nutty. Whoa, what is this? Why did a USC face come up over me? Am I being hacked right now? Sorry, guys. I wasn't looking at the dang screen. Riley, then Frost. I'm still dead inside. I'm going to take a lot of putting for me. Come on, it's Mr. Train. Yeah. Unfortunately, me, I tried to reset as hard as it is. I tried to reset from, Frost and really just kind of understand that this is going to take time. Whereas before, Frost, I was expecting, I think we all were just did this immediate rise. But let's not forget, we started 0-6 under Frost. So, I mean, we're 4-3 right now. That style option is better ran with fast eye back, full back, dives open, lateral option. And another thing too is just like when we run that option, what I was talking about earlier with Harburg, just feeling like he's very indecisive. It's on those options and the zone read. Like there was one zone read, the end collapsed on the running back, but he instead of taking it and just going, he took it and he just kind of just kind of hunkered down, stutter stepped, and just there's a lot of indecisiveness, and on the option, you got to be decisive. You really do. You have to know it because it's all timing. The option's all timing. You have to know exactly when the moment is to pitch. If you hesitate a second, they can take that pitch to the house. And I think that's the problem with us trying to run the option right now is we have an indecisive team that's playing with a lot of hesitation offensively. And I think that's leading to us not being able to even effectively run that. It's just such the option is such a risky play and stuff like that. But, even the zone reads, we fumbled a million of those in recent games too. But it's like these simple plays that should be simply executed, we can't even get those right, So our option game is really, really non-existent. But I did like, the couple of times we did run it, Harburg was decisive. And then, the way, again, I think Rule said in the post game, he talked to Osborne about it or something, but like the way they drew the defense in with that heavy set for that Malachi Coleman touchdown over the top, like that was perfect. It's when we're out of shotgun, they're like, oh, they're probably passing because we literally can't run out of shotgun. So it's like we're showing our hand too much. And I feel like that's making it a little bit easier to game plan. But I do think part of that is just because we're so limited. But hopefully Billy Kemp is back. Again, they said they game planned this game a lot around Billy. Hopefully he's back because he does need to stay involved. I do like that they're going to involve him more. I just don't want the game plan centered around him. Because again, last time we had a little guy like that, do it all guy, Wandale Robinson, y'all know he stayed banged up because we were running him between the tackles, everything, overusage. And that's why we need somebody to step up other than Billy, because I was afraid that would happen where he would get hurt. Billy Kemp seemed like our only option. And we really have no leader out there right now because Marcus Washington was the veteran voice out there and stuff like that. And, he's still a veteran voice in the locker room, but we really don't have a leader out there, on the field in that room to get his guys together in the huddle and just to kind of help them keep a short memory. And, Billy Kemp is an excellent player and, but we don't want him to just be banged up to all hell to the point where he's not happy with his role in the offense, because I think he needs to be more of a guy that we can open the offense up elsewhere to get him in space. I feel like right now we're not getting him in space. And it's because our creativity isn't there enough to get him in space. I think Billy Kemp's going to operate best, when we get him short something middle of the field, but we get him in space so he can work, he can operate. Right now we're not doing that. He's having to jump to catch balls and taking hits, and stuff like that. And it's just, these are the type of guys that we need. Like Billy Kemp is in the role he's in because of injuries. We can't lose the guys that are filling for the guys that are injured, Dog always chilling with you during live streams. I know it's funny because like my big German Shepherd usually lays back there. I adopted her about 4 days ago, and she just kind of stole his spot. So he's been really mopey the last few days. He's been a real pouty baby, but yeah, she stole a spot. She bullies him around. He's about 100 pounds. She's about 45, and he just lets her bully him. Hold up, my mouse died. 1 second here. Try to plug this baby in. Hopefully my camera don't die, guys. I'm just gonna give my mouse a little juice here. Yeah, I have a German Shepherd, and this one's half German Shepherd, half Husky. More of a Husky look. That's why people weren't adopting her, because of German Shepherd Rescue, and people weren't adopting her because she looks like a Husky. But this dog's so sweet, man. She's a sweetheart. She's my new homie. So yeah, she's always making an appearance though. She's she likes to be in front of the camera. So all right. If y'all want to filter a little more thoughts in here and stuff like that, how are we feeling about the Husker volleyball game, guys? Do we have predictions on that? Do we think wait, I got a German Shepherd. We're talking about dogs now. Let's go. German Shepherd Yellow Lab mix, man. What a smart dog that's gotta be awesome dogs. Yeah, they are, dude. I'm a German Shepherd lover, man, to my core. I grew up with them, and then when I was in the military, I worked in the canine kennels, with the military working dogs. And when I got out of the military, I wanted to get one. However, my apartment weight limit was 25 pounds. I actually did a calendar photo shoot for this dog rescue organization, and the calendar was called Muscles and Mutts. And I adopted my first dog through them. It's just a little Chihuahua Papillon mix, but now I got 2 monsters. So, but yeah, so what's everybody's thoughts? Any more thoughts on the game and stuff like that, and just everybody's thoughts moving forward? Do we have any predictions moving forward? Do we think we're going to win the West? Do we think we're going to a bowl game? How are y'all feeling about the records and stuff like that? I'm really curious to know, because we're at a real juxtaposition position here where this is kind of the point, coming off that bye week. I think we were thinking coming off that bye week was going to be a lot of, was going to show a lot about what this team is going to be the rest of the year. It's almost like we had a week to really work out the kinks and then come out in this game and really show what we've been working on. And coming out of the game the way we did with the 2 turnovers, it just really was discouraging coming out of that. So that's why I feel like this might be it. This might be what it is for the rest of the season. Again, what that looks like on the win-loss record has yet to be seen. There's very winnable games we should win. They're all winnable, honestly. I don't feel really terrible about any one of them. So, yeah, if y'all want to get your thoughts in here, if not, I'm probably going to hop off here just in a little bit. And next week, what I want to do, if y'all want to hop in the post game next week, what I want to do is I actually want to take, if y'all want to get your thoughts out and stuff like that, I'll take calls. So that way we can chop it up in here and stuff like that. And y'all can give your takes and bounce things off of me, and we can see kind of where we land with that. Just trying out some different stuff so we can get you all more involved and stuff in here. So, but all right. Well, look, not getting many more comments. So, all right, guys. I'm gonna probably sign off here. Appreciate everybody, joining me, hanging out with me a little bit. And again, we won, right? So let's find a little bit of solace in that. I was stressed because of the Astros games. And so they stressed me out a little bit, but it's okay. We ended up with a dub. Husker volleyball is going to go get a W tonight. And again, look forward to the rest of the season. Look at that schedule upcoming. Whenever you feel a moment of sadness, look at that schedule upcoming and understand that we are in a good position. So, yep, never mind me. See y'all Tuesday. So Tuesdays, again, I'm doing the live with Greg and Mark. And typically sometimes we'll have somebody for from the other side of whoever we're playing on. So y'all tune into that and get my thoughts kind of over the weekend and off the coaches press conference and stuff like that. I'll break down the game with them. Yeah, Fleeks needs to get more involved. We saw the talent. Again, I don't think today was indicative of what kind of player he is because, like I said, there's just no consistency. We need to ride the hot hands. So when these guys show something, we need to just see what they got and let's start mixing them in the offense. It seems like a player will go off like Josh Fleeks, Michigan. He came off of that and then he got 3 carries today. Emma Johnson. Hopefully we see a bigger load from him going forward. Pause. Hold on. A bigger volume for him going forward. But yeah, I agree 100%. We got to ride the hot hand going forward because at this point, what do we got to lose? We're making mistakes left and right. That should be our sign to just throw caution to the wind and let's go. So, all right. Well, again, if y'all want to join me tomorrow, again, Cheesy Corn Sports right here on YouTube. If I was a smart person, I would probably throw that in here so y'all can hop in there. But Cheesy Corn Sports on YouTube, 2 hours before the game. We are going to be live tomorrow. Again, I lost my camera again. We're going to be live tomorrow, 2 hours before the game, so y'all can hop on there and join us. I'll throw the link here in the chat. And hopefully that's the right link. So join us 2 hours before the games tomorrow. Come hang out with us. I'll be taking calls on that show. We just talk football, hang out and stuff like that. So y'all join me there. If not, Tuesday, the live stream. And then, of course, next week, the post game here. So I'm still kind of trying to come up with ideas as I go. So y'all just come hang out with me and we'll just, like I said, next week I'll take some calls and I'll get y'all's thoughts and opinions on everything. So, all right, everybody, go Big Red, go root for Husker volleyball and have a great rest of y'all's weekend. See you.